My husband cheated with an escort girl, so I turned his car into a billboard. Now, I'm not one to air out my dirty laundry, but this time, I just couldn't resist. It's about how I found out my husband was cheating on me with an escort girl and how I got the most satisfying revenge imaginable. It all started a few weeks ago when I was taking out the trash. As I was lifting the bag, I noticed a stack of folded papers deep down inside the bag. It looked odd to me, like the dirty trash and coffee grinds had been somehow pushed to the side to make room for these papers to be pushed to the bottom. My curiosity got the better of me, and I picked them up. To my surprise, it was my husband's Discover card statement. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw multiple hotel charges and a bunch of payments to some weird app. Little did I know, my life was about to change forever. I started to call my husband, who was already at work, but when he answered, I didn't have the heart to bring it up. My mind, for some reason, wanted to not believe this, and so I just asked him how his day was going, made small talk with him, and hung up the phone. I paced for the next 2 hours trying to find a way to make this all into something innocent, but there was no theory that made any sense. Then, my sadness began to turn to anger as I started fully accepting that this man, my husband, was cheating on me. That's when I finally got brave enough to look up the app. This is where it not only takes a turn for the worse, but becomes unimaginable. The app turned out to be a prostitute booking app. Girlfriend, now not only am I super angry that he is cheating on me, but now I am finding out that he is doing so with a prostitute. And it is not like that we hadn't also been intimate lately, which got me worried sick that I was going to end up with some nasty STD. Just the thought of that threw me into a rage deeper than I ever thought I could be in. That was it. It was on. I got myself calmed the freak down and started studying his card statement. The hotel charges followed a pattern, and it didn't take me long to figure out when he'd be making his next visit. It would inevitably happen in the next day or two if the pattern stayed the same. I could feel the anger boiling inside me, but I kept my cool and played the loving wife, all the while planning my revenge. The day finally came, and he left the house for work. The kiss he gave me was as cold as Judas' kiss must have been. That snake. Well, as soon as he was gone, I went to the hardware store and bought a can of bright green spray paint and one of those handles with a trigger on it so I didn't get paint on my nails. Come on, ladies, you know. I felt a mix of excitement and dread, but I knew there was no turning back now. This jerk was gonna pay, and it was gonna start today. I went to the hotel they had been meeting up at, and sure enough, there was his car. I shook the can of spray paint so hard it could have burst in my hands. With a deep breath, I began my masterpiece. On one side of the car, I wrote, "I hope she was worth it." On the other side, I painted, "I'm filing for divorce." I have to say, I felt a little thrill every time the paint hit the car. Now, while I was doing my best Bob Ross impersonation, someone from the hotel staff came out and confronted me about vandalizing his guest's car. I stopped and turned on a dime, looked him straight in the eyes and told him that this was my husband's car and that he was in his hotel right then, getting his money's worth with a prostitute and to back the hell off. You should have seen his face. He was shocked at my ferocity and then actually apologized and said that he hadn't seen a thing before going back inside. The car was a mess. I went ahead and wrote, "Jerk on the hood just for good measure." I stepped back and looked it over. The paint was visible from a mile away, but I wasn't done yet. Oh no, I wanted everyone to know what a lowlife my husband was. So I snapped a few pics of the car and posted them on Facebook, tagging him in the post. I knew I was stirring the pot, but I couldn't help myself. I wanted everyone to see what he had done to our marriage. After all, why should he get off so easy? It took about an hour before my husband realized what had happened. I can only imagine the shock on his face when he walked out of the hotel to find his precious car turned into a billboard of shame. But by then, the damage had been done. The post had gone viral, and our friends and family had all seen it. I was flooded with messages of support, and even people I hadn't spoken to in years reached out to tell me how badass my actions were. It didn't take long for the fallout to reach his job. I found out that he'd been lying to his boss about needing to care for his supposed sick mother so that he could sneak away and meet his escort girl. His mother wasn't even sick. When he returned to work, his boss called him into his office. Everyone at work had seen the post, and after he came back into work, they were taking turns to go out and see his car. LOL. Needless to say, he was fired on the spot. I didn't exactly mean for that to happen, but oh well. There are more jobs out there, and he was able to get another one within a few weeks. It's a good thing too, because he is going to need it for his maintenance payments. Now, I know some people might think my actions were too extreme or even petty, but let me tell you, that moment of revenge helped me get past the pain of his betrayal. I knew I deserved better, and standing up for myself gave me the strength to move on with my head held high. So, here I am, a soon-to-be divorced woman with a hell of a story to tell. And you know what? I'm proud of what I did. I showed my cheating husband in the world that I wouldn't let him walk all over me. I took control of the situation and came out stronger than ever. In the end, I emerged from this ordeal a stronger, more resilient person. My revenge may have been bold, but it taught me that I was capable of standing up for myself and demanding the respect I deserved. So, to all of you out there who might be facing a similar situation, know that you are not alone. You have the strength to stand up for yourself and the right to demand better. And if you ever find yourself with a can of spray paint in hand, remember my story and know that sometimes revenge really can be sweet. She certainly didn't let him get away with that. What do you think? Was she justified in her actions, or did she go too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.